Hey guys, my name is Lizzy Hinshaw. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I make lifestyle vlogs and beauty related videos on this channel, but today I thought I would talk about something a little bit different. So due to the current status of the world with coronavirus, COVID-19, and everything going around like that, today we're going to be talking about 10 tips that will help you work from home effectively and efficiently. Personally, I have never worked my office job from home until this week, so it's a first for me, but I have done plenty of online classes and things like that over the summer where you really have to keep yourself accountable. With that being said, let me just jump right into these 10 tips to help you guys work more efficiently and effectively at home. Now, just a little background for me, I do work part-time in an office, so I'm not technically working a 9 to 5, but I have been working on editing and YouTube stuff a lot lately, so that's kind of included within this. If you see me looking down, I just have my computer here because I wrote a couple of notes. Okay, so tip number 1 from working from home is going to be have a morning routine. Do not stray away from what you normally do on a work day. It's so important to have that morning routine and ease into your day. This can be something as simple as making some breakfast, making your coffee, taking a shower, doing your skincare, all of that good stuff. Make sure you're still doing that. Make sure you're still taking care of yourself and you're not just waking up and grabbing your laptop and then realizing 4 hours later that you're absolutely starving and you're still in your pajamas. So tip number 2 is going to be clean your desk area. You want to make sure that your desk is free from distractions and only has the necessary items that you need to actually work. For me personally, this is a notepad, this is my laptop, my mouse. I do have a speaker on my desk that I like to keep there. One fun thing, you can listen to podcasts now, you can listen to music while you work from home if that kind of helps you, if that helps you be more productive. Personally, I think upbeat music can help me to focus a lot more, so that definitely helps. The third tip is going to be use a visual planner. Now, I'm taking this one step further than just a planner, and I'll explain why here in a second. So when you have a planner, you open it up, look inside, and you see what you have to do for that day. Personally, I still love planners. I use my bullet journal every single day. So I'm not saying stray away from that. I also have a whiteboard calendar that I really enjoy using, so I actually put that in front of me as I'm doing work, so it can kind of give me an overview of everything that I need to do. With my whiteboard, I do like to write things like work hours, so times that I need to be clocked in and not clocked in, and kind of bigger projects that are going on and their due dates. Say I have a test coming up on Friday. On Monday, I'll put a little line at the bottom throughout the week that says study. Something like that, for example, really helps keep me on track, and having it visual and right in front of me has it just right there and very easy for me to see. Another thing that's super important to planning is to prioritize your tasks. So sometimes I can feel extremely overwhelmed with what I have to do, and I look at my whole week and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have so many things. How am I going to get this all done? How I do it is this. I prioritize my tasks into a smaller list if I'm doing a daily list. So I'll look at my bullet journal and then I will write out 3 of the top most important tasks that have to get done today. That really helps me stay accountable. So when I write out those tasks, some of them may be larger tasks like finishing a whole project or something along those lines. So what I do below that is actually time block them and break the task up into smaller sections just so it's not as overwhelming for me and it actually feels like I can accomplish it. So tip number 4 is to have a set schedule or use your usual work hours. If you are working 9 to 5 from home, I would highly suggest staying that route to kind of stay on track, stay on top of things. If you want to stray an hour or 2, I don't think it'll make much of a difference depending on what you do. And this is dependent on what you do. If you have to work 9 to 5, then obviously work 9 to 5. But if you're a student, for example, and you have a little bit more flexibility with things, still time block, still make to-do lists, block out a certain amount of time for work, lunch, a break, and then the end of your day. Having clear guidelines for when you work and when you decide to stop working kind of really separates your work life from your home life too, which is a huge problem that people have working from home. Sometimes it just kind of all meshes together. One of the tricks that I really like to do is 30 minutes on, 10 minutes off. And what that means is I basically put my phone away, put everything away, and I just focus on one task for 30 minutes and I know when that timer goes off that I'll get a break. Tip number 5 is don't hesitate to get what you need from the office. If you need a certain file or a certain project or anything really from your office, make sure to get that or find a way to acquire that. If someone is working in your office and can maybe shoot you a picture of it or send you an email, make sure you have everything so things don't just get left on the back burner and forgotten, and nobody wants that. Tip number 6 is to schedule a designated break. So what that means is, you're working throughout your morning, you may want to take a lunch break at noon like maybe you normally do in the office. A lot of people get caught up in just working through lunch or working while eating lunch. I find it very important to focus on my food and connect to it when I do have these times to take a break. So I definitely suggest, nourishing your body, still take care of yourself. You don't want to end the day at 5 and just feel absolutely awful because you didn't take care of yourself or eat a meal that day. I think we all know that empty feeling and you almost get anxious and more tired. Eat your damn lunch. That's all I'm saying. Tip number 7 is pretend that you are going to the office. Now this one kind of varies for everyone. So personally for me, I could wear something like this to my office. I don't normally do my makeup and dress up when I am just staying home. Today I'm filming, so it's a little different. So I think the most important thing with this one is to just get out of your pajamas. Even if you're changing into lounge clothes or workout clothes, it really does a number on your mindset when you are just in pajamas all day, because you're in lounge mode, you're in sleep mode, and that's not a mode you want to be in when you are trying to get some serious work done. Tip number 8 is put your phone in a drawer or out of sight. Now, out of sight, out of mind with this one, having your phone just sitting out and having those notifications popping up, for me personally, is very distracting. And in the workplace, I try not to check my phone as much because it's just frowned upon, obviously. But when you're at home, you have no one really keeping you accountable, so you think, oh, let me just scroll for a while, and it happens to turn into like an hour of scrolling. With this one, I suggest you can still check your phone. You don't have to, hide it in a box or anything. You still can check your phone throughout the day and, make sure you're not missing anything. And for your job, you may have to have your phone on you. You may have to listen to those phone calls, but I would still suggest putting it in a desk drawer or on your bed. For me, my desk is set up against my wall here, and then my bed is right here. So I can just throw my phone on my bed from my desk, and that works for me. But if you need to have your ringer on loud, so if a coworker calls or if you have to take a call for your job, then you still hear it and you can still get that call. Tip number 9 is to mimic your work or school day. Now, we all have a little bit of a schedule, whether we realize it or not, when we are working on school stuff, when we're working at a job in an office, whether it be like checking your emails in the morning and making calls in the afternoon, or checking Canvas first thing to see if you have any assignments due, and then going forth and working on those assignments. Just make sure to try and stick to that schedule like you normally do, and it'll help you feel more like you're at work, if that makes sense. And also, just because you are working from home doesn't mean you're working from the moon. You can still be collaborative, you can still talk to your coworkers, have Zoom calls if necessary. If you have something to discuss, don't be quiet about it just because you're at home. In fact, you should be more vocal about things when you're at home. People don't have that daily presence of you in the office. Tip number 10, and this is the final tip, is going to be pick a definitive ending time. So if your workday ends at 5, then maybe you should end at 5, or 5:15 if you have to get something else done. When you're in an office, you can kind of feel when the end of the day is happening because your coworkers will start packing up, and it's almost like a natural timer that, oh, it's time to go. When you're working from home, everything gets a little blurred. You may feel like you didn't get as much done, and that is not true as long as you got your normal amount of work done that you normally do. Sometimes when you're working from home, you feel this overarching guilt that you're not being productive enough just because you are at home. That is definitely not the case. So just make sure to end your day at a proper time. Try to maintain a boundary and not overstep that boundary. All right, guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I had a good time filming it and making it for you. And I hope that all of my homeworkers are homeworkers. That reminds me, I need to do some homework. I hope that everyone is doing well out there, staying safe. You know, take this as an opportunity for a little bit of self-care too.
I've been hungover since the weekend. Last night my fake ID got